but I say different standard that we will have these problems, the new, the student here will not have that problem, but they will have another problem. So they have a different status. So okay, that's good to know, but that's also the good thing for me. So I can, I'm working harder because I want to show them that although my English is not good, although my writing is just like a mess, but I'm 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 doing it like I will do it, like I learn to do it better. So now the way I do it is just like I have to remember that we are different. Like I'm sometimes my friend always told me, like, if you feel like you cannot speak English very good, thinking how your friend will speak Bahasa, they will cannot do it. So I'm like, okay, that's true. So you're good, Lisa. That's how I'm like, okay, we are different. Like they just fresh graduate and you're not. But the good, I have to remind myself that you already know what you want to do, but they don't. So that's the good thing. And at the end, you will come back to your country and doing your thing. So that's what they want. They need. So don't compare yourself with the other. That's how I'm, cope with that right now. But before, I remember it's a horrible, horrible day. I just feel like I just want to go home. I don't want to do it again. I'm done. Oh my god!
You even have to start off to running.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god. I'm thinking. I called my husband and said, I think I just want to go home. I'm not belong here. So, but yeah, but he always said that you already there. I mean, a lot of people want to be there and they cannot. So you have to stay. I'm like, okay. It is really hard, like it seems like why am I here if I cannot make a paper, like when you write the paper, people don't understand. That just it's the end. But I don't know that well all the professor, so my because my professor in the program the for the international student and for the minority program, so he know what the struggling for each of us. So he said all the people understand. It's just the matter. Sometimes people forgot that you are international student because you are in the class. They just assume you can do all the things. You are the same standard. So um, so it is good to just meet them and tell your problems, and then they might can help, because if you're not coming for help, they don't know. So they don't know that because when we talk, it seems like, oh, he understand or she understand English, but they don't know that it's different, that you cannot write like the other student will write a paper. So
You mean your professor is for the?
So my professor is my professor is my advisor. Yeah, my advisor, because he the one that I know, like he accept me as the so he knows.
He admitted the student, the international students.
Yeah, so I think there's a program. I don't know if that's for the campus, but they have the program for minority and something.
So why in the biology domain has a special program for minority?
Here in UCLA, yeah, because there's a lot of minority students that came from like the Mexican, that they are, some of them are the first what you call it, generation that coming to the college, and their parents is just coming, they don't have they cannot speak fluent English, so they are struggling to like some of them are in the modest family. So they have to decide to go to UCLA, and then because they have to pay, they have to work. So most of the minority students have to work and study. So they will struggling with that. So the faculty then make a board and to like a place for the student to just talk whatever. And then P said that they usually with the social problem, but some of them are international students and some of them are at the same situation because we're struggling. Because international students usually coming with a scholarship. So some of us is not from a rich family, so we struggling the same thing. So they my advisor is kind of understand the situation, so that's how he always said me, we understand your problems, like you're struggling with it's a different case but the same idea. So it's easier to talk to him because he's not really like pushing me to do a lot of works or taking a lot of classes. So he know that I cannot do that. And then also TA, PhD students have to TA minimum 3 times, 3/4.
3/4. Okay.
And then he helped me to distribute it. It doesn't have to be at the same year. So each year I just need to TA one time. But also like I have to make sure like the financially. So he helped me because he know we cannot do it like full year TAing classes research because we will deal with another problem. So that's why I choose him, because before I came here I don't think that I can handle classes because I never in the class for 7 years. But he said it just go through it. It doesn't mean that you have to get A, but at least you go through the class, you learn whatever, because that will be the time when you familiarize yourself with the system here. But I found it's really hard. So I passed through it now, but the struggle it's just struggling with a small thing like how to do your research by yourself. Although you're in the same lab, each of us has a different research. So we kind of like doing our research by ourselves. So we try to find out everything by ourselves. So it's different. I think for me, if you already know what your problem will be, it's better to get a professor advisor that really understand the situation. Because other professor, if they never have international student, they don't know how to deal with that. My professor is really work in Indonesia, so now we have 4 Indonesian students, and he know that we are not really competitive students, so we just want to finish one thing, and we're not really, and most of us not a young student, so most of us is already being researchers and then decide to go to PhD. So we are above 30. So we have a family, we already know how have a job before working. So it's a different thing. So it's just dealing with different problems. So that's easier because now after I talk to him, before I'm not really talk about this personal problem to him because I think I'm a student, he's a professor, right? But then now I know that I can come to him and telling us whatever story, like I just cannot do that, or the professor is really make me confused. It's really helpful, like that you are different, but then you also know that you can do something. It's just different. You just do it differently. So now it's easier for me, although sometimes it's still feeling like why people know more than me, why people are easier, to understand things than me. But I'm just now trying to